everybody to our monthly boot camp. Some of you have been on before. Basically, we put this program on once a month. It's always on the first Friday of the month from 9 to noon, and it's just jam-packed with information. Now, one of the things I like to start with, because I see that today we have a mix of some agents that are LAER agents and some agents are just agents from other brokerages around the country. You will get as much out of this program because we're going to go through amazing tools, training, technology. Almost everything that we share today is available for any agent to utilize, even through our brokerage. A great deal of the stuff that we recommend that agents use, we open it up to other agents as well. So no matter what, you're going to get tons of great information. There'll be one or two sections maybe that will say this area is really just for LAER agents. You won't be able to get in, but that's super rare. Almost everything that we're going to talk about today, from really cool marketing pieces to branding, almost all of it you'll have access to no matter what. So with that, I want to start with just a little background on our brokerage. LAER Realty is an independent real estate brokerage. RealTrends just named us the 74th largest independent real estate brokerage in the country, and 250th largest real estate brokerage when you compare us to all the different big brokerages around the country. We're 9 years old. And where we got our name from, LAER, when we started in the brokerage, we knew that our goal was to attract talented real estate agents, but also build talented real estate agents, help agents accelerate their success. And so at the time, we looked at what makes a great real estate agent. And what makes a great real estate agent is they are strong. They are negotiators of difficult terrain. So as you guys know, I see some very seasoned real estate agents on here today. Great real estate agents are really good at overcoming obstacles. That's what we do in our business. And then the best real estate agents are true protectors of their clients. Great real estate agents aren't working for a paycheck. They're working for the best interest in helping their clients. So 9 years ago, when we started the brokerage, we put all those words into a Google search: strong, protector, negotiator, and a lion came up in our Google search. So we said, that's it. We're going to build our brand around the lions of real estate. In the jungle, lions hang out in lairs. In the real estate world, the lions of real estate are at LAER. We changed the spelling of our LAER because ours is the mirror image of real. We then created the acronym Local Agents Extraordinary Results. We're now 9 years old. We have offices all throughout Massachusetts, New Hampshire. We're further expanding throughout New England, and very excited to have several offices now throughout Florida. So about 800 agents. And I tell real estate agents, sometimes you see a lion statue in front of a home or in front of a walkway. That's because the lion is a symbol of protection for that home. We look at it that there's a new symbol of protection for real estate across New England and Florida, and that is the LAER for sale sign. So that's just like a little history on who we are, where we got our name from, where we came from. As I mentioned, we have our goal is to just help great real estate agents accelerate their success and thrive. So that's why I say, even if no matter what brokerage you work at, you're going to get so much great content today. We want to point you in the right direction for building and sustaining a successful business. So before we get started, I want to just encourage you a couple things. I always like to say, knowledge is not power, execution is power. Like, the power does not happen until you start executing. So as much as we really appreciate that you're about to spend the morning with us, we want to make sure that that turns into revenue for you. So it's really important that you write stuff down. And it's really just writing down, say, 3 to 5 items throughout today's program that you're going to go execute on. Now, the challenge to this is that you're going to get a fire hose of information for the next few hours. There's going to be tons of stuff. That's why many people, I could see we have lots of agents already who've been here multiple times. Oh my gosh, Len and Craig, I think we have to call Carolyn Brown. I'm worried about her because Carolyn Brown is not here. Where's Carolyn Brown? I was just going to say, Carolyn Brown has been on probably in the last 18 months, 18 of our boot camps. And I got to say, I don't see Carolyn Brown. We're going to have to place a phone
don't worry.
call.
Donna is here and she's almost as regular. So that's
100%. So we'll call on Carol and make sure she's okay. But the point is, there's a lot of information. So it's really difficult to write down everything that we're going to cover today. You're going to want to write down 2 or 3 items or maybe 5 items that you're going to go execute on. And then you can come back next month, or we record these. So at the end of the program, you can go to our YouTube station. It's youtube.com/LAER training. I like to point out we have 2 YouTube stations. One is just our LAER YouTube station for like consumers. The one you'll want is youtube.com/LAER training. Because that's where we put all of our training programs after, right after. So later on today, you can come back and take some information. But the point is, go execute on your 3 to 5 items and then come back at a later time. 2 weeks from now, a month from now, you could take the live program on the first Friday of every month and then pick a few more things to go execute on. So the name of the game is going to be execution, especially the market shifting. So regardless what market you're in, you're probably going to start feeling the market shift if you have not already. So now's the time that you need to be executing. I keep saying the universe is picking the winners right now. Who's going to win in this real estate market? The universe is picking, and they're picking based on your mindset, like where you are mentally, what the market does, what is happening in the outside real estate market has nothing to do with your success. So don't get tricked into reading newspapers or looking at statistics and saying, oh, the market's off, I'm not going to do great this year. Has nothing to do. Your success, there will definitely be real estate agents who grow in the changing real estate market, who do more business. We're going to see agents get out of the business. The agents that get out of the business are usually the ones that either can't commit the time to it, or they believe that the outside market, what's happening in the real estate world, affects how they're going to do in the business this year. And we know that has nothing to do with anything. Your mindset matters more than anything. That's why I'm excited to see many of you on today's program. Getting ready to learn lots of great, exciting information. So let's dig in. Oh, by the way, what you're looking at right now is the LAER Program and Services Guide. So at our brokerage, we try to make sure agents are always pointed in the right direction as far as what tools, training, technology they have access to. Not only knowing what they have access to, but also like little tutorials on how to use what we're sharing with them. So this booklet we give when agents join our brokerage. It's like 30 pages roughly of information, and each page is set up so it's a tool or technology that agents have access to within our brokerage. Now, throughout this entire booklet, you're going to see hyperlinks to information. Oh, by the way, I think probably Sergio already shared it within our chat. You can go grab a copy of this, download a copy of this book at LAER Realty. That's LAER, LAERrealty.com/success tools. Click on that and it'll bring up a screen that looks just like this. you want to scroll to the very bottom underneath where you're looking at this booklet. Right underneath, you can download a PDF version and print it out. The cool thing about doing that is that you could take some notes in it. So you could print it, take notes in it throughout the program. But the other cool thing about the PDF version of this guide is there's hyperlinks all throughout. So anytime you see something underlined within the book, you click on it and it's going to take you to a tutorial or more information about the tool that we're speaking of. So with that, I'm going to start digging into today's program. By the way, the first few pages of the guide are the LAER cultural values. Cultural values are important, especially when agents are considering making a move to any brokerage, because I always say, like, when you're shopping for a brokerage, agents always think like, I have to know what's the commission split, stuff like that. Honestly, none of that matters. What brokerage is going to help you succeed? And more importantly, does the brokerage, do the cultural values match your cultural values so that you know you're going to be there for the long haul? So that's why we like to spell out the first few pages. We talk about our main cultural values. There's 30 of them in there. And then once you get onto page 5, that's where the bulk of information starts. So each page from here on to the end of the book is a tool that you have access to for your business. And we're going to start with one of the biggest tools that agents have access to, and that is the LAERagentservices.com, our dashboard. This is our agent dashboard. What's exciting about this is I see many agents who are not LAER agents. You're going to be able to access most of the stuff on here. I'm going to cover all kinds of business tools that are going to be life-changing, marketing pieces, business growth systems. I'm going to cover it all, and you're going to see as we go through, you have access to all of it. So because these are all hyperlinks to more information, when you're looking at your PDF of your guide, you can just click on LAER Agent Services, and that's going to bring you right to our dashboard. So this is our agent dashboard, and I'm going to take you guys through it because if you're a LAER agent, you spend a great deal of time on here. You're on here almost every day, grabbing information, things like that. So right from the very top of it, the first thing you will see is the LAER news. Now, we email this. If you're a LAER agent, we send this out once a month to you. So you do get an email from me. Usually mid-month, we send it out because we don't want you to miss it. But if you click on this, you can also see like all the back versions of it. So this is just our internal company newsletter, and it comes out once a month. The reason it's so important, well, first, if you're a LAER agent, it's awesome because you get to just kind of get an overview of what's happening in the lives of our agents. So you'll get to see like new agents. This is our most recent newsletter that you're looking at. So you get to see which agents just recently joined. We always feature a staff member. So one month, this month or March, we featured a New England staff member, which means April, we will feature one of our Florida staff members. So we go back and forth. We always list our birthdays. It's always a 4-page newsletter, but these are important because there's business building information in them too. So for example, we always have like a book recommendation, and we always have a technology recommendation. Like this month, we did a little article about ChatGPT. There's always a section of what's happening in the lives of our agents. So accomplishments, like agents that got new licenses or designations. We let you know any celebrations, weddings, new babies. Also, we like our agents to know if somebody's passed away. So there's just tons of information in here. We always have a sustainability segment. Today, we're lucky to have our Craig Foley, our Chief Sustainability Officer, who you guys will get to hear from in a little while. But each month we have a little section on sustainability. We always have movies with a purpose. So you're not going to find random movies that you should go watch. Anything that we recommend in here is something that you will get life value out of. And then we always have a little feature section on the success tools. And then each month we actually lost one of our great real estate agents this month. So we like to, anytime we lose one of our family members, we like to do a little tribute on the back. So we lost Artie from our Florida office, but this back cover changes every month. The previous month, there was information like a list of steps to take to find new sources of business. So we always say, like, as a real estate agent, you should have like 5 sources of revenue coming in regularly. Maybe it's cold lead services, your cold leads, your warm leads, maybe you have partnerships with your vendors, things like that. So we had created, or expired listings. We had created last month just a list of all the different sources you could go to for business. Now, if you're a LAER agent, by the way, please, I stress, if you know of anything happening within our company, some LAER news, please fill this out. Just, there's a little section here so you could submit news. We want to know what's happening. If you have like a nice story, or you know of anything happening with one of our team members, or maybe it's you, maybe you just got a designation, or you just got licensed in another state. It could be anything. Let us know. You fill this out and tell us, is it an announcement? Our committees update us on what's happening here. And then, or is there an event you want to let us know about? That goes into our news team, and that information will then come out on our next newsletter. You can go read some of the archive news pieces as well, if you're interested. But we take a lot of care in putting this newsletter together each month. Most of you receive my Mindful Monday, so I won't spend a great deal of time on that. But every Monday, I have an article that goes out to not only everyone at LAER Realty, our 800 agents, but about 70,000 of our closest friends in the real estate industry. So many of you probably receive that, but it's just every Monday, like just dissecting our business and life in a way, just a short article that kind of helps you think differently about your business or about life, things like that. And then here is this is like a blog of new agents that joined. So we try to make sure that our newest agents always feel super welcome. So we announce them here. We also announce them within our Facebook group, things like that. Now, down here under latest updates, there's a couple things that are really important within here. First of all, our monthly ROAR report. This one is pretty big. So one of the things that we'll talk about today, and by the way, this could be one of the things that you execute on a month, when you leave today's program. So we're going to talk so much throughout the next 3 hours about how to start building your business. And one of the things that we will talk about is newsletters. And there's 2 different types of newsletters that we'll talk about. One is a printed newsletter. There's a lot of value in having a printed newsletter, like informational stuff that you can send to your client. The other type of newsletter is an email newsletter. The newsletter that I'm about to show you is a printed newsletter. It's meant to be like customized with your name and contact information and printed. So let's go in here. What's that weird green thing? That was so weird. Do you see that, Sergio? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you did an annotation. You can now write on here, but I can clear that.
Oh, I did that. I have no idea how I did that.
There we go.
So I just clicked on the ROAR report. Now, basically, again, any agent can use this. It's all branded to LAER. You could go put your own branding on it. But we encourage our agents once a month to have a printed newsletter that goes to their customers. And when we say going to your customers, that's either printing them and mailing them, or having them like within your buyer, seller, investor packages, or just having them printed at open houses. And then the fourth thing is having them at like local restaurants. So one of the pieces you'll see when we go to our Algorwin growth system is that one of the ways to grow your business this year is to really focus on vendors. The cool thing about focusing on vendors, and there's two types of vendors. The first is all the people that you do business with in real estate, from mortgage, title, it could be home inspectors, contractors that help get houses ready, staging, all those people, but also just in general, in your little neighborhood, who owns the pizza shop, who owns the local restaurants. So you want to engage with those business owners because they have spheres of influence that you can tap into. And when we say tap into the sphere of influence of another business owner, that doesn't mean going and asking them for business. Instead, go to them and help them grow their business. So go to them and say, hey, I want to feature your pizza place inside my newsletter this month. And is it okay when I print them that I bring them and leave them at your place of business? So that's how you can build something kind of cool with this newsletter. But who has time to write a newsletter every month? Not a lot of people. So we write one for you. There's two different, each month it comes out, it's a brand new newsletter. We give you a couple different formats of the newsletter. One is if you want to print it on 8.5 by 11 paper, which is our standard. And then we also have a template for tabloid, and that's 11 by 17 paper that gets folded. So it's basically a 4-page newsletter. You can either print it on the tabloid or print 4 pieces of paper and staple them. But we've written all the content. You just have to go in and change it. So let's just look at the tabloid version here. All of the marketing that we're going to share today, all of the marketing we do at LAER Realty is in Canva. We are very big fans of Canva. I will tell you throughout today's program, Canva has 2 versions. One is a free version and one is $12.95 per month. It's even less expensive if you pay for it yearly. But we will, throughout today's program, go through Canva so much. And as a real estate agent, you have to get the upgraded version of Canva for the $12.95 a month. It just gives you so many more options, so many more design capabilities, so many more stock images, things like that. So we call this the ROAR report, which all of this is branded for a LAER agent. If you're not a LAER agent, of course, you can go in and just change out your logo and stuff. But there's 4 pages of articles. And we try to make it so that like if there's a holiday coming up, for example, in February, we have like articles or kind of featuring around that holiday, around Valentine's Day, things like that. But other than that, it's like articles about gardening or home maintenance, things like that. Now, anything in here can be changed out. So let's just say, for example, you want to grow your business this year. So you make a commitment that every month you're going to go interview somebody within your community. That means the owner of the local pizza shop. You're going to go interview the owner of the ice cream shop as they get ready for the spring. You're going to go interview the school principal at the local high school. So every month you're going to go out and interview somebody, and you're going to change this out. So you could just cut out this whole first section. And here, instead of this photo, you're going to upload a picture of the school principal that you're writing about. And then you're going to just change this. So it'll say, meet so-and-so, the local school principal, and then your short little article. And you could change any of this. So we've written it so that you don't have to think about the little articles to write as they pertain to real estate, but you could take out whatever you want. And then in the back, there's a place for your name, your contact information, your photo. You want to change out anywhere where there's like red. We try to highlight that because that's what you must change. And then once you do that, these are ready to print. If you're a LAER agent, we have free printing at all of the offices. So you can just pop into any of the offices and print out as many as you need. And either you can mail them. Now, if you're doing big mailings every month, I do recommend that you just use a mailing service. Let them fold them and print them and mail them for you. But some agents just use these. They like to print out like 40 of them. Leave them at the pizza shop, bring them to open houses so you have some additional materials, things like that. So all of the work is done for you, and this comes out every month. And by the first of every month, there's a new newsletter that comes out, and it is always, I'm going to go backwards. It's always within our LAER Agent Services portal. So that's under the latest updates. So you see the April ROAR report. A couple other things I want to point out within here. You'll see the Mindful Monday. We post it here for you every month. And the other thing that you'll want to know, if you're a LAER agent, as you guys know, if you're a LAER agent, every month we feature our top 25 agents. So basically, we come out every month with 2 top 25 lists for the whole brokerage. Top 25 agents and teams by volume, and top 25 agents and teams by units closed. We also then resegment everything. So we do like the top 5 teams of Massachusetts, top 5 individuals, Massachusetts, same for New Hampshire, same for Florida. So once these stats come out every month, we then also put them here, and we create social media pieces for those. So if you're featured on one of these lists at LAER, you want to go here each month. So we cover this during our sales meeting as a reminder, but you want to go here, and then you just click on social media pieces, and it brings up all of the pieces for the month. So you can go find your social media piece and download it. So you don't have to reinvent anything. And then you'll see throughout the month different articles on all kinds of interesting things that have to do with real estate. So let me go back, and that's basically so at the top, you have LAER News, Mindful Monday, then our new agent announcements, then our latest updates. But mostly what you want to pay attention under the latest updates is getting your Aurora report and really making sure that I want to pull this down because I forgot to show you guys. You can also get all of the trainings coming up for the month. I'm going to show you other places where you can get some of that information as well. Then if you keep scrolling down, this is where like the meat of the site is. So the first thing that you'll see right at the top is our program and services guide. That's what we started today on. So this guide, which we're going to come back to throughout today's program, I'm just on the first page. The first tool that we're going to cover today is the LAER Agent Services. But that guide that you download is right here, the Program and Services Guide. Next is the LAER Library. Here is where you will find all kinds of stuff. For example, Craig's going to talk in a little while about sustainability stuff. You can find sustainability stuff under our library, LAER logos, licensing info. Like sometimes agents need, for example, like copies of E&O insurance, stuff like that. You can find that all under there. If you're looking for a particular agent, you can find that under our agent directory. You can sort the 800 agents if you're looking for an agent in this particular market, for example, because you have a referral. You can find them under the agent directory. You can find all of our office locations. We have somewhere around 40 office locations throughout Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Florida. You can go check out all of the office locations. And if you're a LAER agent, this getting paid section, I'll just click on this for a second because it's kind of important. Under the getting paid section, there's a few things, if you're a LAER agent, that'll be kind of important. Number one is the LAER check request. So when it's time for a closing, the way that our bookkeeping department knows that an agent's going to be looking to get paid on a transaction is the agent fills out this check request. It's just like an online request form to let us know information about the checks that are needed. So when you click on it, it just asks you a series of questions. Is this a buy-side transaction? Is it a sell listing transaction? Is it both? Is it a rental? Is it a BPO? You tell us a little bit of information, and that then notifies our bookkeeping department to write checks. If you're a New England agent, New England has, for our New England agents, we try to make it as simple as possible that, let's say you just go to a closing and the attorney gives you a commission check. Instead of having to drive to an office. Now, we have lots of beautiful office locations, but we also make it super easy for agents. We have many agents that don't live anywhere near one of our offices. They like to be part of LAER because they like all of our tools, training, and technology. They're not close to an office. So we make it very easy. You go to a closing, you collect your commission check, and we set you up on mobile deposit. So right from that closing, you can just deposit the commission check into the LAER accounts, and then you get paid from there. This is our e-check system. Same thing, because we have many agents that are far away from our offices. Let's just say that we're holding all the funds in escrow and you have to bring a check to a closing. That happens all the time, like New Hampshire, Massachusetts, you got to bring a check to the closing. All of our checks, every check we write within the company is an e-check. That means we email to our agent the checks that they have to bring to the closing. So we email them a check, they print them out, they just bring it to the closing, or they can just send the e-check by email to the closing attorney or the title company. And then last is our escrow payment portal. So like any brokerage, when we're collecting funds for escrow, the customer can just mail us a check to an office, any of our offices, to get deposited. But even easier than that, we tell agents, if you don't want to have somebody like driving or mailing a check to an office, we have this awesome escrow payment portal, and you just click on it. You just send the client to this link, which is laerrealty.com/Ernest. And there is a small fee to the person who's setting it up. It basically is an ACH withdrawal right from the buyer's account. Let's just say it's a $10,000 check or a $10,000 escrow or earnest money that is owed. You just send the link to the buyer agent or to the buyer and say, here's the link to pay for the down payment. And there is a fee to the buyer. So $10, $15, or $20. I promise you it's less than a wire. Definitely less money than a wire. It's more convenient. And then they just have to click on one of these. Is it a Florida escrow deposit? Is it a New Hampshire escrow deposit? Is it a Mass escrow deposit? And then, by the way, we do sometimes have agents that want their commissions paid through earnest. It really comes down to the other brokerage. We do have other brokerages that say, sure, we'll just do it through ACH so they don't have to write a check. But once this happens, the buyer, for example, goes through, usually what we're receiving is these escrow deposits. The buyer goes through, fills this out, it pulls the money from their account, puts it into the LAER escrow account, but there's information that's collected beforehand. So it'll ask, like, what's the property address, things like that. And as soon as that is initiated, we as a brokerage get notified that, hey, somebody has initiated the transfer of $10,000. And the transfer still takes a few days, but once we get notified of the initiation, our bookkeeping department immediately notifies the agent. So they'll say, hey, Catherine, just want to let you know that the buyer for 10 Main Street has initiated their escrow withdrawal of $10,000. It usually takes 3 to 5 days for that to actually hit our accounts. Once it does actually hit our accounts, you get another email saying that the funds have been received. So it's kind of seamless and nobody has to drive anywhere to drop off checks. But we're also fine with, some agents like to do it the old school, like go drop off checks. That's fine with us as well. We'll do it any way that you guys like. I'm gonna go back. I think I just backed out of our. So that's a little bit, that was all under the getting paid section. All right, next is business planning tools. This is going to take a few minutes because this is so important. Okay, under the business planning tools, we recently chopped a lot of stuff out of here because we want to keep it as simple as possible and make sure that whatever you click on here, you're going to get a ton of value. So there's basically 4 different business planning tools. One is the Algorand system. I'm going to show you that in 1 minute. One is a more traditional business planning guide. So I've been in the brokerage business for now more than 20 years. And this business planning guide, I'll click on it so you guys can get a feel for what it is. This is like the old school, like, business plan for real estate agents where you write out like what your goals are for the year, what action steps you're going to take for the year. So you'll see it's like a 45-page guide. I don't know how to make that a little smaller. Anyways, you guys could click on it. It's like a 45-page guide and it helps you like really examine your business from the last 12 months in order to create a plan for your business for the next 12 months. So that is under the business planning guide. It's a 45-page booklet that you print out and it kind of like asks you a bunch of questions and then has you use that information to formulate a plan for the new year. That guide is kind of cool too. If you're running a team, to have a team meeting and have everybody print those out, bring them, and then as a team building exercise, work through so everybody has an idea of where they're headed. I've also wrote a different type of business plan that I put out earlier this year. It's a different way to look at business planning, and it's just called a simple plan. The simple plan, this one's a 16-page guide. And really, it's more, it asks you questions about what your business looks like right now. And then it asks you, what would you like things to look like in 1 year? It goes through every aspect of your business. So, and then it kind of helps you think about what actions do you have to take in order to go from A to B over the next 12 months. So it really, this is called, I call it a simple plan. It's very different than a traditional business plan for real estate, but it really more focuses on what do all these 30 different things, 30 different pieces of your business currently look like? And then what do you foresee that those 30 things will look like in 12 months? From like your online reputation, for example, like if you Google your name, what does it look like right now? And what do you foresee it will look like? And then it forces you to like, it has you write down the old me and the new me, and then start to consider like what action steps have to happen to go from the old you to the new you that you're creating through this plan. So that's just another type of business plan. So one of the themes that you'll see within the company in general is just mindfulness, like not just throwing at you. I mean, there's 10 billion different types of business planning tools out there for real estate agents. We have culled these down to what we think are the best and the most useful. So no matter which of these 3 plans, the simple plan, the business plan, or the Algorithm system, no matter which one, any 3 of these will help you. The business plan in the middle is like a traditional business planning tool. If you like the old school model, you've been in the business for 30 years and you like just having a plan of where your business came from, where you're going, some of the things, kind of more simple. The next one is a way to look at your business and figuring out who you are now, who you want to be in 12 months, and then answering some questions about what it's going to take to get there. And then the Algorithm system, which I'm going to go through in just one second. The last piece is this income producing activity checklist. This is kind of cool because the income producing activity checklist, now, if you're doing Algorithm, you won't need the income producing activity checklist because we've built that into Algorithm. But the IPA, the income producing activity checklist, is cool because when the market slows down, one of the challenges agents have is, what do I do today? If I don't have business today, what should I be doing? If you download this checklist, it's going to give you a whole bunch of things you could work on right this second to create income or future income. So with that, I'm going to go to the first one we've listed, which is the Algorithm system. If you click on the Algorithm system, I might have to go around this. We'll let that load for a second. Okay. So basically this Algorithm system is a business growth guide. So originally we called it a business plan, and then we changed out the name of it because we said it's really not a business plan. It is a system for making sure you close at least 30 transactions a year. And so I'm going to spend a few minutes on this. What I want to show you guys, if you go to that link that I was just at, or you can go to laerrealty.com/Algorithm. There's a few links down at the bottom. One, you can actually go through and see the whole book right here. It's 90 pages. So number one, right here, you can go through it and start flipping through the book. But also if you go down to the bottom, number one, you can download the Algorithm book. So if you click on that link, it's going to ask you some questions about your business. And it's really just for us to know, like, what are agents looking for in a system? So it just asks you some basic information about your business. And then you can actually download the actual book. If you want a hard copy of the book, we do sell them. They're $24. These are not a money maker for us. They cost us $24 to make, but some agents like to have like a hard version of it, especially because there's some really cool, I'm going to go through these in a minute, but there's these tracking sheets in there. So if you like to have like a nice clean version of it that you can write in and stuff like that, you can buy a hard copy of the Algorithm book. Just click on that and we'll get it. We have a bunch of them. We can just send it out to you today. And then if you just want to reprint the checklist. So when you're using the program, we have some checklists, some tracking sheets, and then a weekly schedule. If you just want to reprint those, you can go here and print those out. Now I'm going to pause just for 1 second so I can pull up the actual system. So the idea of this, originally we started building the Algorwin system a year ago. And what the goal was originally is our LAER Leadership Council, which is a group of agents that meets once a month. We were trying to think of a way, like when agents join our brokerage, how can we get them up and running so that within 6 months, they're already doing their first 6 deals. So we're like, let's build a 90-day success plan. That was our original goal, was like a 90-day success plan so that when agents join pretty quickly, they're doing, they're getting their first 6 transactions under agreement. Okay, let me just reshare this. So we built that. That's what we originally set out to build. And then it occurred to us that the program we had built was actually doing a disservice to real estate agents, because it was getting them all, like, it was saying, do all these things for the next 90 days so that in your first 6 months, you'll have transactions happening. But the problem is that once the 6 months was up, it really didn't give any type of tool or resource to make sure that they continue to grow their business. And so we kind of scrapped our whole 90-day success plan and said, we're going to give agents a tool that will help them close 30 transactions a year. If you're already doing 30 transactions, this will help you do another 30 transactions. If you're brand new to the business, this book will get you to your first 30 transactions. And basically what it is, we took, we have lots of super high performing real estate agents. By the way, if you buy the book, if you actually buy the hard copy of the book, I still say print it. Like have the downloaded PDF one, because what's cool about it is you can look, like here, I want to go to the Algorwin weekly seller updates. You can click on it. It's got all these cool hyperlinks, so you can just skip over to the pages you want. But basically the book is broken down into 4 different sections. One is the definition and just overview of the program. Part 2 is the actual checklist. Part 3 is the tracking sheets. And part 4 is anything that we tell you should be doing to grow your business. We tell you exactly how to do it with step-by-step instructions. So for example, we say that if you're working cold leads, which if you're newer, you're probably working some cold leads in your business. That a cold lead is a lead that the customer really doesn't know. You're getting people coming to you and they're not personally referred. A referral is a different form of a lead because that person already knows, likes, and trusts you. The cold lead does not know, like, and trust you right off the bat. So if you're working cold leads, we say you have to have like a campaign to stay in touch with them because they're not super loyal. So we show you the campaign. We tell you exactly what to say, what to text, what to email them, things like that. So that's part 4 of the book, the how-to of everything we tell you to do within the system. So part 1 is the definition and overview. Why is it called Algorwin? It's because this is an algorithm based on high performing real estate agents. We have lots of agents within our brokerage that do 10, 20, 50, $100 million plus in real estate business. And usually they do it every single year. What's super interesting about our business is most real estate agents do within a 10% margin every year of what they did the year before. So like last year, if you did 5 transactions, you're probably going to do around 5 transactions this year, unless you take steps to break out of that 5 transaction mold. So basically we looked at what are the high performing real estate agents doing on a regular basis, because you guys know, like, if you look at the agents that are making like $500 to $1 million a year in real estate, if you really look at them, they're no different than you. So what that should tell you is that if they can do it, you can do it. By the way, that's one of the keys to success in our business, by the way, is like having that mindset, because sadly, many people in general, not just in our business, but in all businesses, many people are programmed to think of all the reasons why they can't do what other people are doing. So one of the massive keys to success in our business is look around you at the successful real estate agents and realize that they are proof that you can do it too. And you have to start adopting that mindset. If he can do it, I can do it. So we looked at all of our highest performing agents and we studied them. And we said, what the heck do they do? Why is it no matter what the business does, what the market does, why is it that they continue to do the same amount of business? Doesn't matter what the market's doing. They're going to still do the same amount of business. And what was really interesting is they just consistently do a handful of very simple tasks. So we built out the list of all the things they do, basically a simple checklist. And we said, all right, there's an algorithm to success. We know that if you do these things on a consistent basis, and nothing's terrible. And by the way, it's not all just real estate related, which I'll show you guys in a second. But if you do these things, these simple tasks on a regular basis, then you're going to have a very successful real estate business. Then you're going to be one of the agents that does 30 plus transactions a year, regardless of what is happening in the real estate market. So we built out this algorithm and we said, if you follow the algorithm, you're going to win your business. So that's why we called it the Algor Win. You do the algorithm, you're going to win. And it is super simple. It's 7 checklists. And I'm going to show you those checklists in a second, but basically it's 7 checklists for a yearly, monthly, weekly checklist, as well as a new buyer checklist, a new seller appointment checklist, a new listing checklist, and then client appreciation checklist. There's no daily checklist because the daily is when you get the work done, like doing these simple tasks. So we have no daily checklist. What makes this work, in order for you to see results from this, you have to be very consistent. You have to keep repeating stuff that is super simple. You'll see throughout the program that it's not just real estate stuff. We have worked into the system, like making sure that you get an opportunity to do the stuff you like to do, your personal stuff, your vacation stuff. I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but high-performing agents, the agents that do the most business, they vacation a lot. You know who doesn't vacation a lot? The lower producing agents who think they can't leave because the world's going to stop if they go on vacation. So we work that all into the system. You will also see that we work gratitude into the system. So in some of those checklists, you're going to see that you have to write like your 25 things that you're thankful for. The gratitude piece of this is because one of the pieces that plays into your success as a real estate agent is your energy. We as human beings are transistors. So we like facilitate energy through us. So if you are living on a high vibration, which happens through your emotions and what your thoughts are, if you are living on a high vibration, then you're going to attract more business regardless of what's happening in the market. What's equally true is that if you are living in a low vibration, that even if the market is booming, even if you do all the things that you're supposed to do, if you are in a low vibration, a low frequency, which is caused by low vibration thoughts, feelings, and emotions, if you're living in a low vibration, then it doesn't matter if you're doing all the other things right. It will not matter. You're not going to get the results. So that's why you will see we have worked that gratitude into these checklists, because that is our way of making sure that you're staying on the right frequency for success. Some of the traps to our system is, first, it's simple. This is a huge trap, because what is easy to do in life in general, the things that are easy to do are equally easy not to do. So that's a trap. You got to do easy stuff. Distractions are a trap. Perfection is a trap. I can't tell you how many people don't finish the stuff on the checklist because they don't finish it because it wasn't perfect. Done is better than perfect. That has to be your motto as you go throughout the program. Excuses, of course, are always one of your traps. Altering the checklist. So definitely we have agents that alter the checklist. By all means, you can do that. It's just no longer this algorithm. Maybe your algorithm's better, maybe it's not. But once you alter the checklist, it's no longer this algorithm. This algorithm we took by studying high-performing agents. Control is a trap. So over time, you have to delegate. As your business grows, you must delegate, which is really hard. But control can end up being a trap. Follow-up can end up being a trap. That's why we have some big follow-up campaigns. But some of the people think, well, maybe these checklists are super complicated. There is nothing complicated about any of the checklists whatsoever. The longest checklist is 12 steps. And that is our annual, once a year, 12 items you must do on your checklist. And then all of the other checklists are 9 steps. So just 9 things you have to do monthly, 9 things that you have to do weekly, and then a checklist of 9 things to do every new buyer, every new seller, every new listing, and each client appreciation event. So basically you start, if you're a brand new agent, you're going to just start with your 3 main checklists, because right off the bat, you probably don't have business yet. So you don't have to worry about the buyer checklist, the seller checklist, the listing checklist. So right off the bat, you just start with the 3 main ones, your yearly, monthly, and weekly checklists. And then what happens is as you start doing those tasks, you're going to have to merge in the other 4 checklists because business will start to come your way. We also include within the program, within the booklet, these process tracking sheets. So basically we tell you, like, this is your weekly tracking sheet that you'll see right here. So right at the top, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items going across. So really on a perfect week, you're gonna finish 9 items on your list. When I show you the checklist, these little pictures at the very top match the 9 items that you must do. And then you just put week 1. Did you do your social media updates? Did you do a video? Did you go visit your stop buys? Did you write your gratitude list for the week? So you just check off, this is your process tracking sheet. The reason we have you do this is because there are agents that will get 6 months into the program and they're like, hey, I don't even have 1 deal under agreement. Never mind. I don't know where I'm going to get 30. Typically, we could see the holes by looking at your tracking sheets. If you're not seeing the results, I guarantee you there's lots of empty check boxes within your tracking sheets. The reason that we have those tracking sheets, by the way, is we want you tracking the process, not the results. In our business, it's really hard because if you are focused on results, this business can get discouraging. So let's just say that you start this in November. I mean, the market is a little different in November, December, January, February. So you start this in November and you're like doing all the things that it says, you're checking off every box, and you're not seeing the results. We don't want you focusing on the results at all. We want you focusing on your process, like checking off each step that you're doing. I'm going to skip through this because we're already running low on time, but basically here's your first checklist. So this is your yearly action checklist. So these are the 12 items. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is your most important checklist of all of them. You should not worry about all the other checklists until you get most of this stuff done, because we put these as your once a year checklist, the things you must do once a year. Because if these things aren't done correctly, they are going to hinder your results on all of the other checklists. So for example, like you got to have a database, like set up your database and get your database ready. You need that for all the other checklists. Set up your set it and forget it emails so that once a month a newsletter is going out to all of your customers. Like that has to happen. This is so important. Your professional photo, your professional bio and resume. We tell you how to do all of this throughout the book. That's why you got to read it all. But I always say to our agents, and you'll see it down here as well, this is why all these little things are so important, from having a professional photo of yourself, writing a professional bio. Especially now we have like Chat GPT will write it for you. But the reason why these are all so important is I always say to agents, if you Googled you, would you use you as a real estate agent? Because I have to tell you, many real estate agents, if you Google them, so I want you guys today, this is one thing everybody watching today should absolutely do as one of your action items, is Google your name with real estate agent. So like Stacy Alcorn, real estate agent, see what comes up. I already know what comes up for most real estate agents. First, hopefully a Google business page. If not, you should have a Google business page. Your personal Facebook page is going to come up. Your realtor.com profile is going to come up. Yes, everybody that is a real estate agent has a realtor.com profile that's going to come up, which you can go update and put your photo on there and your bio. Your personal website's going to come up. What does your photo look like? Do you even have a photo? And is your bio/resume on there really good? Because these are the little things that agents will say like, oh, I'm doing all the checklists, and for some reason, none of the stuff, I'm not getting the business. And then I go and look at their yearly checklist and they haven't done any of the yearly checklist. The first thing a new customer is going to do, especially a cold lead, especially somebody who doesn't really know you, the first thing they're going to do is Google you. What are they seeing when they Google you? Because I will promise you that's where agents are losing business. So this is why it's so important to get all this stuff done. You have to have a nice listing presentation, buyer packages, seller packages, investor packages. You should have all three done. And by the way, we give you all of it. Everything here is in our program today, that you don't have to go invent anything. It can take you in 1 hour after today's program. You can have your buyer package. So you have a beautiful package, your seller package, and your investor package all done. Once a year, you should schedule four appreciation events. So throughout the year, 4 times a year, you should be inviting everybody you know, friends, family, acquaintances, past customers, all the cold leads in your database to your client appreciation events. We tell you how to run it. We've got a checklist for that. Doesn't have to cost you anything, but it's super interesting. I was just talking to this great real estate agent, and he said, I spend $72,000 a year on Zillow leads. And he's like, I think I break even on it. Like I get some business, but it's not like I'm investing 72,000 and getting 150,000. He's like, I think I just barely break even. And I said, what happens if you invested 72,000 into your customers who know, like, and trust you? He's been in the business for 20 plus years. I'm like, what do you do for those people? Imagine that you put on 4 events and you don't have to spend 72,000. I said, you could pay 0 and get sponsors to put on these absolutely phenomenal events. And I said, I promise you, it's going to be way more than break even. You're going to have customers who already know, like, and trust you referring you business. So much better than Zillow. So everything you need in here. Oh, and by the way, look, number 12 on your Algorand annual checklist, schedule your vacation. So that's part of the program as well. We then go into your monthly checklist. Look at no heavy lifting here. Like, change out your social media covers once a year, send a mailer to 250 people. Super easy. You're going to use a program like MLS Mailings or Wise Pelican to do your mailings. Do a 250 piece mailing to your sphere. Interview a business owner and write your blog. We talked about that with the newsletter already. So, like, make sure that on your newsletter, you're featuring a vendor. This is like once a month. Go interview somebody, because the point of the interview is it's building your sphere. It is also like marketing collateral, so that you're going to be sharing it on your social media, on your email newsletters, in your printed newsletter. But more importantly, you're building a sphere of people who want to refer you business. Thanking your referrals, adding 20 people to your database, pruning your database, scheduling, planning your open houses, attending a real estate class, and scheduling a fun personal event. That's your 9 items. These 9 items can be done in an hour, once a month. We then have your weekly checklist. Look at the weekly checklist. One of the items is just writing the 25 things that you're thankful for. Again, getting you into a high vibration weekly so that you are vibrationally prepared to receive business. Scheduling out your social media posts, creating and posting a video once a week, going and visiting. All of this is explained, like 5 stop bys. We tell you what to bring. So that's why you got to read the last part of the booklet. And then we have, what do you do when you get a new buyer? When you get a new buyer, and when you get a new seller, and when you do a client appreciation event, and when you get a new listing. This is the next 4 checklists. I'm not going to go into all of them because you can go into them. Hopefully you guys have already printed this. The Algorand should be your number 1. I think go through the whole manual. It's only 100 pages. Go through it in detail. These additional 4 checklists are set up to bring more business in. The first 3 are, of course, set up to, like, get you out there to start slowly getting business in. But then the business is going to start coming in, which means then you have to stick to these checklists to make sure that the more business starts coming in. Every new buyer that comes in, every new seller, every new listing, and every client appreciation event is like turning the faucet up, more business. So those are all the checklists. And then the next section of the book is tracking your results. By the way, I tell you right at the beginning that the most important checklist is your yearly checklist. So you'll see I have like a little mathematical item here where I say, listen, if you've only done 6 of the 12 steps on the annual checklist, then the Algorand book's not going to help you get 30 transactions. It'll help you get 15, because you're basically handcuffing your success by not doing all 12 items. Because if you're doing all the other checklists, but for example, when somebody Googles your name, there's no picture from you, or your picture's 30 years old, there's no like well-crafted bio. If you don't have the time to do that, then you're gonna basically hinder your own results. All these, the of part 3 of the book are just your process tracking sheets. So that you can track your results, because we want you, again, tracking the process. We don't want you tracking the results of the business. Just worry about that you're getting all of the stuff that you're supposed to be getting done. The last part of the book, this is part 4. Like I mentioned, anything that we tell you to do within the book, we've given you basically step-by-step instructions. Here's the whole thing on, like, if you Googled you, would you hire you? And it goes through a list of what to look for when you Google you, and then goes through what should you write about when you're writing a bio. Again, use ChatGPT, it'll help you write it, but here's like a little checklist of how to build a bio. Evaluating your social media. We tell you to sign up for all the referral fee-based lead platforms, and we give them all to you. You just click on them. You just click on each one and sign up for them. We tell you have to have a 10-day follow-up campaign for cold leads. We give you the 10-day follow-up campaign. Any calls we ask you to make, we tell you exactly what to say in the calls. We have this whole section on words and vibration. This is important because vibration and energy is kind of like an undertone throughout this whole booklet. But when you're speaking to customers, there are high vibration words and there are low vibration words. We want to make sure you're using words that are high vibration. When you go visit clients, we say, I think, go visit 5 clients, 5 past customers or acquaintances or friends or family a week, and never go empty-handed. Bring a small item of value. And we tell you to, like, create these cool little images, and we give you ideas for what to bring. How to talk about the market with people. We have it all included in here. How to manage expectations when you get new clients. Giving seller updates, social media, everything. I don't think we've forgotten anything. We even go into how to do a CMA that looks really good. And we offer you some great classes on CMAs. You'll see throughout this booklet, there's some little videos embedded, like, that you just have to click on. So that's basically it. That's our LAER algorithm system for success. Highly recommend. This should be one of the things. There's like 5 or 6 pages on how to turn an open house into business. So that's really important. We give you some cool checklists for that as well. So that's basically the entire system. And that's under the algorithm system on our guide, on our LAER program and services. Again, you can download it, or you can go buy a copy of the booklet if you prefer to have like a nice version that you don't have to print out. Let's see, a couple other things I wanted to point out for our agents. First of all, we've been building out this new section for commercial real estate. So if you're a commercial agent, first of all, we have a really cool commercial listing presentation / guide that can be like your listing presentation. We have a commercial offering memorandum and a commercial valuation model. So there's just like some cool stuff here. We're going to be adding to this. This is just through agents asking us for more commercial stuff. Open house assistant. If you are a LAER agent, this is really important. If you're a LAER agent, our agents are always sharing open houses. So if you're an agent that has tons of business, we have lots of agents that carry a lot of inventory, and you want somebody to cover your open houses for you, just fill out this form, tell us about the property. That will send an email notification to many of our agents who are looking for open houses so that they can do the open house. Same with our broker open house notification. If you're doing a broker open house, we want our LAER family to come out and support it. So go fill out that broker open house notification, and that will send an email to the offices you've selected as to when the date and time of the open house. If you're a new agent that just joined LAER, there's all kinds of stuff here that you'll definitely want to check out. One, we created a nice checklist of stuff for you to think about when you're switching brokerages. There's all kinds of like these little nuances, like you got to change out your brokerage name on your voicemail, your social media sites, things like that. There's also some really cool social media announcements, plus LAER GPS. Those are the 200 most common questions our staff gets. And then down here, there's a whole section on Google templates. Our company is run off of Google. So when you join, if you want, we give you a LAER Realty Google Suite account. And there's all kinds of cool templates in here for like running your business. Marketing requests. So a couple things that I just want to cover on the marketing requests. First of all, our agents do automatically, and you'll see this in a few minutes, at LAER, our marketing team is phenomenal. Anytime you list a new property, they're going to create all of your marketing. I'm going to show you samples of all of it. So you never have to create like a marketing piece for your new listing. Our team does that for you automatically. But sometimes agents have other requests. So what are the typical types of requests we get? Number one, it could really be anything, but the biggest thing our marketing team gets, when we automatically do your marketing pieces for you on each new listing, you get a marketing bundle, which includes a 2-page brochure of your listing, plus all of your social media milestone posts. So like new listing, price improvement, under agreement, sold. We give you all that in a bundle as soon as you list the property. But sometimes agents want like a 4-page instead of a 2-page brochure. If you want something more than what we normally do, or maybe you want like help designing a postcard or an advertisement, you go to request a marketing piece. The other thing we get lots of requests for, if you ever see agents that want to like share on social media, you'll see like marketing piece which tells the customers or the followers what's happening in a particular town. So let's just say it's Derry, New Hampshire. What's happening in the Derry, New Hampshire market? So you can go request a market snapshot for a particular town, and you'll receive a social media piece back, like a JPEG image that tells you like this is the number of houses that have sold, is inventory up year over year or down, things like that. So just like a nice social media piece you can request there. And then this is the big section, guides, presentations, and brochures. This one's important.
I think we lost Stacy.
Oh, Stacy's frozen, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me pull that up so I can actually speak to that. And then Len, if you want to check on
that, tell about what make you special, what make the company special, etc. So what do you put within that guide? We give you everything here. These are all like buyer guides, seller guides, and all of these are in Canva. So let's go to, for example, a guide to buying. We'll open this guide. So when you open it, it's in Canva. It's basically a Canva template. We've written all the content for you. So this is like a buyer booklet that you would bind at the office, print them and bind them. You need to customize it to you. We have it all branded LAER. If you're with a different brokerage, you can change it. We leave a page for you to put your professional photo and your well-crafted bio, which we know you're now going to have. And then the rest of it's done. Of course, you can go change anything. So any of these pages can be changed out, but I don't think you need to. We've written some really good content here, and just kind of go through it, make sure you like it. But this should take you roughly 10 minutes, maybe. If you're not familiar with Canva, it might take you 10 minutes to create your buyer booklet. And we just saw that it's about 14 or 15 pages. That one's just the buyer's guide. We have a beautiful seller's guide. Same thing. This one's 15 pages. It's a guide to selling your home. So you go through, just further customize this. We have an investor guide. There's some other cool things. So like if you are putting together your buyer guide, what would you put in a buyer guide? What I would put in my buyer package is I'd have a LAER folder. I would go and customize the LAER Realty Buyer's Guide. I would include the LAER information brochure, which is just a 4-page brochure about our brokerage, all in Canva for you to customize. This is a cool like Monopoly board flyer that it's all what the process of buying a home is, looking at it from a Monopoly board. So I think that's kind of a cool piece from like making an offer, home search, things like that. So I would include that in my package. I personally would also include the LAER sustainability report. One of the things that makes us different than most brokerages is our sustainability team. So I would include our annual sustainability report. I would also, I would also include 2 other things. One is this local guide. So let's just say I do a lot of business in Westford, Mass. I would go take this little locals guide and customize it to Westford, Mass. I would do this for all of the towns that I do business in, because this is a cool handout that you could leave in local businesses, but you could also leave at open houses, put it in your buyer package. But like this one says top 10 to explore in the Boston area. You change that to Westford and you like put the farmer's market, the best coffee shop, the best boutiques, the best places for brunch. So that's kind of a cute little newsletter type of thing about the town to include. And the other thing I would include is my trusted vendor list. So you should have a list of the people that you refer. And this is where you get those interviews for like your blog and to put in your printed newsletter, things like that. So tons of stuff so you should have a package that's all your buyer printed materials. You should have a package that's all of your seller printed materials, and you should have a package that's all of your investor printed materials. And we've provided it all for you. So there's really no excuse. You could have all 3 of your packages done today. In probably 1 hour, you could have all of your packages done. I always say, I think you should have 10 of each all printed and put together in your folders. So if you meet a buyer, when you leave your class today, you go to Starbucks, you meet a new buyer, you can say, oh, I have a package for you. Let me go grab it out of my car. I have a package that I'll give to you. So I think those should all be done, and not wait until you have an appointment and then go make the package. Like have all of it done so that you're waiting. You're just waiting for your next customer to bump into you. I'm just going to close out a couple of these windows because it's slowing down my internet, I think. Okay. And then social media. I'm going to have Sergio in a little bit go through. As you know, if you're a LAER agent, we do all of your social media for you on a weekly basis. So I'll have Sergio from our marketing team do a little demo on that. And then if you want to see our weekly classes, as many of you know, we do lots of training classes, coaching. Go click on this link. I'm going to go through this a little more as we go throughout the program. This technology tool section is kind of cool. These are like technologies. First of all, the technology that we provide. So we're going to go through all of these some more, but all the different technology that LAER uses, these are the different places to sign on. but also other cool technology we highly recommend. We do a great deal of vetting. Like there's so many places out there that want agent business, but we go through and we pick what we think are the best. Shawami is a company, like if you need somebody to cover an open house for you or cover a showing for you, you can get somebody from Shawami to do it for you. HomeBot, wicked cool landing pages, awesome lead generation. Home Value Leads, again, landing pages. I could do whole training programs just on those. So that's our tech tools section. There's also a section down here for ordering LAER signs, apparel, business cards. And then I like to point this section out on mailing and marketing companies, because I think these companies are some of the best. MLS mailings is super cool. Basically, it hooks to your MLS. So agents like to do just listed, just sold postcards. MLS mailings does that. Not only that, it hooks directly to your MLS. So you set it up once. Anytime you can find a set it and forget it system for your business, take it. It's the only way to scale a real estate business. You sign up for MLS mailings, you hook it to your MLS, and you say, hey, every time I list a house, I want 200 postcards going out to the neighbors around it. Or every time I sell a house, I want 200 postcards. It'll automatically do it for you. The personal marketing company is really cool, TPMCO, because they create a 5-year mailing campaign. So once you close on a property, I say put everybody that you close a transaction with into a TPMCO marketing campaign. So for 5 years, they're going to get mailers from you. Set it and forget it. Wise Pelican, really cool marketing company. Yellow Letters Complete, another. Many of our agents use Yellow Letters Complete for sending out their Roar report, their printed newsletter, and then RSP, another mailing company. So these are some of the better ones, we believe, for your business. So that's like, I think we're on page 5 of our program guide. The next page of the program guide is an easy one because you're already here. So one of the big tools our agents have is our monthly boot camp, but you guys found your way here, so we don't really have to spend too much time on it. But as a reminder, you can go to youtube.com/LAER training after today's program. So let's say you've already written down a bunch of things you're going to go execute on after today's program. Let's say next week you want to come back and go find something else to work on, or you forgot technology we talked about. You can go watch this whole program. It'll go live today. Now, before I invite our sustainability officer on, the next thing I just want to very briefly cover is how if you're a LAER agent, I see many of the agents on today are LAER agents. If you're a LAER agent and you need support, so we have tons of support staff at our company. And in the old days, when an agent joined our company, we'd send them a list of all the people that work here. And we'd say, hey, if you need this, call this person. If you need this, call this person. Because all of our staff is very specifically trained in certain areas of the business. So like we have a team that just does compliance. We have a team that does marketing. We want to make sure you're getting to the right person. So we changed the way our whole system works a few years ago. And basically what we tell our agents now, if you need anything for your business, just email happyagent@laerrealty.com. So you need help with a marketing piece, you have a question on a transaction, you need legal assistance, whatever you need help with, email happyagent@laerrealty.com. It goes into our customer service system. We then assign, within a short 5-10 minutes, your request gets assigned to whomever on our staff is best suited to answer the question for you quickly and knowledgeably. The reason we do our system like this is we want to make sure an agent never falls through the cracks. We want to make sure an agent never has a question that doesn't get answered. So how is it that questions don't get answered within a business? Typically, in my opinion, email has a lot to do with it. I find email to be super inefficient. because the way that it's structured is that all day long, it's like people throwing information at you. And so you go onto your email each morning and it's like hundreds, if not thousands of like just pieces of information, and embedded in there somewhere might be somebody that has an important question. So we said, that's not an efficient way to run a business. It is, we don't want somebody emailing one of our staff members and the staff member didn't even see the email, or the staff member was on vacation, so the email never got answered. So we say, if you need anything, go to Happy Agent at laerrealty.com. That request gets assigned to whomever's best suited to answer the question. It then stays in that staff member's queue so that they don't miss it. So when they log in, it'll say, hey, Stacy, you have 5 people that are waiting to hear from you, instead of looking at a page of hundreds of emails trying to figure out which one is the important one. So if you need anything at LAER, you can either email Happy Agent at LAER Realty. There's a text number on there as well. Once that request comes in, it gets assigned to the person best suited to answer the question. And then we can make sure that our agents never are left hanging, that anything you need assistance with, you're going to get it. And with that, I'm going to invite on for a few minutes Craig Foley, our Chief Sustainability Officer, to talk about some of the sustainability initiatives happening at LAER. So welcome, Craig.
Thanks, Stacy. I'm just going to boot you and put up my PowerPoint. The thing that continues to come back to me every time we do these boot camps is, I think it's number 6 on the group of 30 cultural values for LAER is continuous improvement. And honestly, I've never been at a brokerage that's so committed to continuous improvement. This is, the Algar-Win program is just the latest example of that. So thanks for all your work and your commitment to the industry, Stacy, and your commitment to your agents. You're phenomenal.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thanks. So the business of sustainability, we're going to talk about what we're doing at LAER that makes us different, and the impact that it's having in the real estate industry and for our agents as well. Just some information about what I do. I am the Chief Sustainability Officer here. I'll explain what that means. I have been the first Chief Sustainability Officer hired by a residential real estate company in the country, so that's very exciting. But it's really exciting to see where that's going as well. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm the co-founder of the Rethink 39 group out of the Melrose office. The 39 that we're rethinking, by the way, is the 39% of U.S. energy consumption that's attributed to the built environment. Our team believes that with every transaction, even the ungreenest home on the face of the earth, after the point of sale, we have tools to be able to engage our buyers, or who will hopefully be our future sellers, on how to lower their operating costs, how to lower their carbon footprint. The operating costs are obviously huge as prices for energy continue to rise at a rapid rate. I've done a lot of work with the National Association of Realtors, really exciting work, and worked with the GSEs as well, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, on a couple of different projects, which I continue to work with them on, to look at how we bring green lending to the residential real estate network. And believe it or not, Fannie and Freddie are very engaged in this information. They obviously have more data than anybody else on housing in the United States. And what they're discovering, both independently, they've both published studies on this, is that homes that have moved forward with energy efficiency or renewable energy improvements default less than homes that don't. So it's a big deal from their investor standpoint that homeowners are making these improvements because the default rate is remarkably lower. Just some information, in general about what's going on with all of this stuff. So there's something called ESG reporting, environmental social governance reporting, that became popular with S&P 500 companies to voluntarily give reports that essentially are focused on the sustainability efforts of a particular company. And you can see the 6-year period between 2011 and 2016, rapid growth here in companies voluntarily reporting to all of their stakeholders the work that they're doing. We've been doing the same thing. I'm working on the latest sustainability report right now. It'll be our 4th annual one. We try to publish this every year in or around Earth Day. And it gives a full report of our efforts in, now our 3 states, Florida, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire, specific regulatory things that have moved the ball forward for green building or remodeling existing homes. We try to cover all of that so you understand the market opportunity that's available in your particular area of the country. As Stacy said, you want to include that sustainability report in your buyer and seller packages. This is information from the Shelton Group. Suzanne Shelton's probably the best, strongest marketing company in the United States that helps companies that want to engage more deeply and more relevantly to all of their stakeholders and customers on their sustainability efforts. This is according to Suzanne's work, 74% of US consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. 74% customers making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. So that, I don't think there's a more compelling reason than that to include the sustainability report in your engagement with buyers and sellers. They care about this stuff. They're engaged with it. And if they don't want to open it, that's fine. But many of them, 74%, are going to appreciate the fact that LAER is really moving this ball forward in a way that no other companies in the United States have chosen to do until quite recently. This last Tuesday, I was up in Portland, Maine, teaching the National Association of Realtors green designation to all of the agents in their brokerage, Waypoint Brokers Collective. I've never had the experience of teaching it for the entire company. I've certainly taught the green designation for LAER agents specifically, but the entire company was there because they want to move forward with this intersection of real estate and sustainability. It's really exciting. It's growing very rapidly, and a realization that consumers are really engaged with this stuff. A lot of work at trade organizations, of course, as well. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, this was back in 2019, made a big about face on their thinking about climate change. They were kind of climate deniers before this point, and then they decided to just move forward because many businesses within their trade organization are realizing that this is an important point, that we've got to move forward. Inaction is not an option, because if we're not active in terms of dealing the climate threat that's in front of us, it's very, very clear from the data. We can all see it happening around us now. You look at the news every day, more and more extreme tornadoes, droughts, extreme water events coming in, sea level rise, the fact that permafrost is no longer permanent in Alaska. There's a big change happening here, and it is a threat to the real estate industry. Believe me, if you are trying to get insurance in Florida or California right now in wildfire areas or heavy hurricane areas, you might have real problems trying to get that insurance at a reasonable cost. And just, quick update of what's going on in Massachusetts. We have changed our building code, which we do every 3 years, and it includes a net zero energy stretch code. It's called the specialized stretch code. So we have 3 building codes now in the state of Massachusetts. My community, which I live in, is in Melrose, is getting ready to adopt the specialized stretch code. And I just want to touch on this so you can see what's going on at the state level for new construction. So there's something called the HERS score, which is the Home Energy Rating Scorecard. It rates the energy efficiency and renewable assets that you have in new construction or an existing home and gives it a score. It's like your golf score, the lower the better. And we've made a big jump in the state this year. The former minimum to meet the building code was a HERS score of 55. You can see now that it's moving down to 45 for the all-electric home and a HERS score of 42, which is more rigorous if you're using some kind of fossil fuel to heat your home, natural gas, oil, whatever it is. So it's more rigorous if you're using that as a heat source in new construction to meet the building code. But continue to look forward here about what this actually means. For new construction, if the builder decides to heat with natural gas or oil, it becomes very rigorous. It is required now in the new building code for the specialized stretch code communities that solar be used where feasible, where there isn't shading coverage. That's a requirement now in the building code. And you see it's not there for the all-electric home. So I recently did a big remodel of my home. I'm in my home right now in Melrose. You can see behind me, I have a mini split up there. We have 4 of them in our home. We have an induction cooktop right over here. So we went away from natural gas. We have a heat pump hot water heater. So I cut my natural gas account because I've looked in my real estate crystal ball and I'm seeing that the all-electric home is where this state is moving. So just some information that, again, will be in the most current LAER sustainability report about opportunities, what's going on. Certainly if you're a listing agent working in the new construction marketplace or you're a buyer showing new construction, you should probably be aware of how quickly and rapidly the building codes are moving in this state of Massachusetts to move the ball forward towards decarbonization, electrification, and less stress on greenhouse gas emissions in our state. Including in this, I was thrilled that Governor DeSantis in Florida vetoed a bill that moved through the state legislature, their representatives and senators, that would have really killed the net metering process in the state of Florida. What is net metering? Net metering is the legislative law that allows excess production of solar PV, solar photovoltaics on a rooftop like you see in the picture. When they're producing more energy than they're using, they can send that back to the grid, which is a positive for the grid. But the utility, in most states, will compensate the homeowner that's producing that excess energy in terms of a credit that they can use in the winter months when they're not producing as much energy as they would have. So this bill tried to move through the Florida legislature. The impact of this bill would have been devastating on the Florida economy because a lot of jobs in Florida are in the solar PV field, and it would have really moved that market backwards. I was so pleased to see Governor DeSantis veto that bill earlier in 2022. A lot of what we do at LAER is make sure our agents are educated on this stuff. And Sergio, if you wouldn't mind throwing those links in, upcoming soon here for all of you that are near Northeast Association of Realtors members. We have several of them here in Massachusetts. For free, I'll be teaching the Fundamentals of Sustainable Homes course that's coming up on May 2nd from 1 to 3. Sign up for that. It's a really good overview, big picture overview of all of the stuff that I deal with, and it's 2 hours of free CEUs for NEAR members. So please sign up for that. Check it out. Make yourself available. Love to see you in that class. The other thing that's really important is June 6th and 7th for Greater Boston Association of Realtors. At their Reading facility, I'll be teaching the National Association of Realtors Green Designation. That's a full 2-day course. I mean, it's a big commitment, time, energy, and money. But if you want to be knowledgeable and competent in this part of the industry, to be able to sell homes with solar panels and actually know how to value them and how to demand a qualified appraiser, this is all stuff that we cover in that class. On top of that, just an interesting side note, one of the appraisers in Maine that have gone through the Valuation of Sustainable Buildings program wants to teach the 3 classes for the Appraisal Institute. And I didn't know this until I was talking to Rob earlier this week, but one of the requirements for teaching the Appraisal Institute's courses is that the instructor needs to take the NAR green designation. So I think we will have a qualified appraiser from Maine, someone that's gone through the Valuation of Sustainable Buildings program as part of that June 6th and 7th training. So that's kind of unique and interesting. Definitely sign up for that and check it out. Education is critical. And I would even say this is not very popular, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you have a home with high performance features and you're not an NAR green designated agent, you haven't taken the coursework to become knowledgeable and competent in that, we have plenty of green designated agents in our company. In fact, we are the leading company with the most green designated agents in Massachusetts. You should be referring that business over to somebody that is actually knowledgeable and competent and trained in this stuff, or get the designation yourself. We'd love to see you in class. So we're up to a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff going on here. We're a leading company, as you all know. Our engagement for staff, everybody is top notch. We did add this year to the check request. So we have a full year's worth of data that when you're filling out your check request, you can fill in this feature whether or not your home that you helped to buy or you helped to sell or sell has green high performance features. So we do have a full year of data on this. The full year of data says we need to improve on this reporting. Out of our, how many transactions did we do? 3,500 this year, Stacey?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So the agents that filled this out, they're very competent doing this. The ones that are committed to fill this out said we had 100 homes that we sold of those 3,500 that had green features in them. That's absurd. I mean, it really should be 1,700 because every home, even if it has LED light bulbs, has green features in them, right? We're seeing this evolving in the marketplace. So I think we've got to do better at looking at this in our check request form. And certainly if you have questions about any of these elements that are in homes, feel free to reach out to me. But you can see that there's a little box over here on the right that says other green high performance features that aren't featured in the checklist. There's a ton of them in there, and virtually every home has them. So let's improve on that. We are the only brokerage that's tracking that right now, and we want to improve year to year in our engagements with consumers as well. We have a ton of partners that are helping us with our sustainability initiatives. We talk about, and that group is ever growing. Deepening our partner relationships. And certainly, we're really lucky in that we've gained a lot of national exposure for LAER because of these initiatives. We've had lots of coverage from National Association of Realtors. And that's, really why this company in Portland, Maine invited me to come up, because they're seeing the exposure that the LAER is getting on a national level. Have another brokerage in Phoenix, Arizona, another brokerage of 12 people that is interested in doing the same thing the brokerage up in Portland, Maine is doing, going full-blown sustainability so they can really use that to engage their potential consumers in their marketplace as well. And of course, down in Phoenix, Arizona, it's all about water efficiency, as opposed to up here, it's about energy efficiency. There's a community of about 1,000 homes just outside of Phoenix, where Phoenix has cut off the water to that community because they're not officially part of Phoenix, Arizona. 1,000 homes with the water cut off because there's not enough water. So those 1,000 homes have to truck in water for those homeowners to be able to shower, to bathe, to use the toilet, and for drinking water. The drought down there is serious, and another part of what we're seeing here in terms of a changing climate impacting the real estate industry. we're lucky, I think, up here in New England. We may be, there won't be any winners with this changing climate change, but there's going to be less degrees of losers. And we're already starting to mark, and National Association of Realtors is starting to mark climate migration. We may be seeing more and more homeowners from tougher areas of the country to live to move up here to the Northeast because we're a little bit more lucky. We also have a LAER Sustainability Committee that's very active. There'll be a committee meeting this month. I'll inform everybody of that. We have terrific guest speakers that help us with valuation, with all of the newest tools that are out there. So I'll definitely send that forward. Here's one other piece of legislation that is incredibly important. I'm going to throw a link right now into Rewiring America. I'm going to just show you how this thing works. So the Inflation Reduction Act was passed earlier this year, and it gives pretty serious investment tax credits for people that are making renewable energy and energy efficiency improvements on their home. As you can see, there's 5 simple inputs here. I got 04103 because that's a Portland, Maine zip code, because the last time I did it was for the green designation class up in Portland. But all of you, if you've had a good year, if you're working for this company, you're following the algo win, you had a good year, you have a tax appetite, right? That's what it's called. I mean, does anybody, after having a good year in real estate, like sending money to the IRS? Well, I'm guessing the answer is no. So the Biden administration signing into law gives incentives that are pretty powerful so that the IRS is investing through tax credits in your home. So there's a ton of them that you can see here for electric vehicle charging, for new electric vehicles, the rebates that are available, the tax incentives. If you put solar on your rooftop and it costs $20,000 for you to buy that system outright, well, 30% of that, if you do that in 2023 and 2024, when you go to, this time of year, we're all thinking about the IRS. When you go to fill in, work with your accountant, you're going to be able to take 30% of that $20,000 price tag, $6,000, off what you owe to the IRS as a federal investment tax credit. That's pretty darn compelling. There's a real investment by the U.S. government to help all of us improve our homes, particularly those of us with a tax appetite. I strongly encourage you to plug in your information in these 5 little simple inputs to see what you have available to you for investment tax credits. Experiment with it, use it, make these investments. If you need information about what these investments mean, call me. I'm happy to help you through this, understand what's going on. But try this out so that you can then talk to your past buyers about this powerful tax tool to be able to help them lower their operating costs in their home, live in a more healthy and comfortable home, and lower their carbon footprint all in one. So some really exciting stuff out there that's going on right now across this marketplace. We really hope that we continue to make sure our agents are heavily invested in this stuff. They know the tools that are available and can help your past, present, and future customers be able to move forward with successful, sustainable home ownership. So Stacy, that's it for me.
All right. Awesome stuff. As I like to always remind people, I do think that it is still possible. We have proof of it, that it is still possible to build a niche within sustainability, but it's not going to be like that for long. And like Craig mentioned throughout today's program, the longer it takes for you to dig in and learn about sustainability and how sustainability affects the value of a property, you become a liability to your clients and to your brokerage. So for example, during the pandemic, we did a training series throughout the entire pandemic, but one of them, we had a fantastic green appraiser, and she was sharing a story about a seller who was interested in listing their property, and it had all kinds of sustainable features. And the first agent that they interviewed was not super familiar with sustainability. So what we know from attending all of Craig's training and the green designation and all these classes, that a property that has certain sustainable features, such as like owned solar PV, that property is worth more than the same exact house next door that doesn't have those same features. And so the appraiser was explaining a story about a real estate agent who went on a listing appointment, didn't understand how the sustainable features affected the value of the property, and gave that seller a price for the property and said, you can get X amount for the property. The second real estate agent that came in and did a CMA was a green designated agent, and said, oh no, the value is actually higher because of some of these systems that you have. And it was significantly higher. And of course, the seller listed with the green agent and ended up selling the property for significantly more than what the first agent had said. But they use tools like the Pearl certification to really like hone in and expose all of the awesome features that the property had. But think about if that seller had listed with the first agent who had no idea how sustainable features affect value. Just imagine that the seller did list with that property, took less for the property, and then found out later that those sustainable features did add to the value and it wasn't marketed properly. Now you've got an agent and a brokerage that is potentially liable for misinforming or not properly representing the client. So that's just one of the reasons why it's important to really dig in. I think Craig mentioned it, but like the National Association of Realtors has a free class you can take on fundamentals of sustainability. And you can get it right at the National Association website. And what's really interesting, I took that fundamentals of sustainability class, and it really makes you realize like where the holes are in your own awareness, because that's what's key, like realizing what you don't know. You never know what you don't know until you take like one of those little free classes that was like 45 minutes. And then you say, wow, I had no idea of that. And then it helps you like lean in and dig into something more classes so that you can become really informed so that you can best represent your clients. So thank you.
I'll drop that link in the chat.
Oh, the fundamentals of sustainability. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you. I am going to take off because I got to head to New Hampshire because I'm way behind on writing our sustainability report. And my wife's letting me go up to New Hampshire so I can be devoted to writing this weekend. So,
all right. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Craig.
You got it. Bye.
Okay, next up, let's keep moving. We're back to our LAER Program and Services Guide. By the way, if you guys have questions and you're watching the live program, feel free to type them into the chat box and we'll try to get them answered. Okay, next, let's talk about databases. So if you're a LAER agent, which about half of you on today's program are LAER agents, even if you're not a LAER agent, this is really important to listen to because your database is your gold mine. So one of the things that agents ask when they're joining our brokerage is, are there any monthly fees associated with being with the brokerage? And with LAER, the answer is maybe. We do have an optional $39 per month tech bundle. We don't mandate it. So if you have other tech tools that you want to use, by all means, you can use them. But if you don't have a database or a website, we highly recommend that you sign up for our $39 per month tech bundle. Now, everything we've talked about so far today, you get no matter what. The next 3 products that we're going to cover are only if you opt into our $39 a month tech bundle. What I like to show you, so the 3 products that you get as part of the $39 per month tech bundle are ISACT, which is a database, CRM, client relationship management system. The reason I love it is it's a set it and forget it system. So people, your sphere of influence, your past customers, your friends, family, acquaintances are getting emails from you on a monthly basis with your newsletter. So this is why I love ISACT, is the set it and forget it marketing, but it's a complete database system. Now, when you look at these pages, all these links down here are little tutorials so that you can properly set up your ISACT system. So like making sure your newsletter is set up, things like that. Now, there are a million different database companies out there for real estate agents. The reason I love ISACT is because of its simplicity. It does not have a million bells and whistles like many of the other programs, but it is because of the simplicity that it makes it very easy for agents to use. If you have no database, then you should move to ISACT database. There are other ones out there that have a lot more bells and whistles, but don't try those until you're already using a database system. Like, you need something, and this is a nice, easy one that we have many of our highest performing agents that they just have an ISACT. They don't have anything beyond that because they just want something to stay in touch regularly. The few things that ISACT, I would show you a demo of this, but we're already so tight on time. There's a few things that ISACT does really well. One is a newsletter. So on a monthly basis, your customers get a newsletter from you. It's all branded from you. Get a little letter from you and like some articles. You don't have to do anything. It will just, like a few days before the newsletter goes out to your database each month, the system sends it to you and says, here's the email that's about to go out. But again, for your success, you will need set it and forget it systems. So that's why it's so important. And this is why one of the reasons we love this, this product. So set it and forget it e-newsletter that goes out to your customers. The second thing that we like it for is just because it's a place to store all of your past customers, your prospects that are coming in, people you meet at open houses. You're in the business of collecting names and email addresses that you can market to. You are your own Zillow. So like, start just grabbing information from people so that you have people to market to. The next thing is it automatically, if you put birthdays into the system, so like you have a new customer, it's so easy to get everybody's birthday. It's on Facebook. You just put in a birth date for each person you put into your database. It'll automatically send a nice birthday email from you on their birthday. You don't have to think about it. If you put the date they closed on their property into the system, it'll automatically each year send them an anniversary, a home anniversary email. Again, set it and forget it. And the other thing that's cool about it is it has a mass email capability where you could just send out a mass email to everybody in your database. Let's say you have 500 people within your database and you just got a new listing. It's so easy. In less than 3 minutes, you can notify your entire database of your new listing. Because what you're going to see in a few minutes, LAER does all of your marketing for you. So when you get a new listing, we're creating all of your marketing pieces and we send you a marketing bundle. In that bundle is a brochure about your new listing. We send it all of your marketing pieces, and so we send some of them in JPEG images and some of them as PDFs. You just upload your new listing announcement that we've created for you, upload that into the mass email and send. So check out my new listing at 10 Main Street. super easy to do. So that's one of the reasons we love this particular CRM system. Also part of the $39 per month tech bundle is the website. So our company website, LAERrealty.com, is a Boston Logic website. We have an agent version of the website through Boston Logic. If you click on these will just show you like different, you can customize yours so yours does not look like anybody else's website. And also at the bottom, we have little tutorials on how to customize your website further. And then the third part of the tech bundle is Real Scout. And basically, this is a program. In the old days, many agents, when they had a new customer, would stick them into a MLS campaign. So you have a new buyer and they're looking for a house in Salem, New Hampshire between 400 and 500,000. You would stick them into an email campaign within MLS, and then that customer gets an email every day of the new listings that hit the market. That is not competitive with sites like Zillow or Redfin. You want to give your client a phenomenal experience, so you want to be using Real Scout. So I'm going to have Len come on and just do a demo of 2 different products since we're going to have him on. The 2 things that I'm going to ask Len to show you guys is, one, just a little tutorial on the cool stuff you can do with Real Scout, which is part of the $39 tech bundle. And then also for all of our agents, even if you're not part of the tech bundle, we have this really cool upgraded version of Cloud CMA. So I'm going to have him just show you a quick demo on that as well. So welcome to Len.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Hi, everyone. All right, so Real Scout is a really impressive program. It really is. And it's very interactive. You know exactly what your buyers are looking at as they are looking at it. So I'm going to open up my email. And one of the cool things here is the emails that Real Scout sends out is not like, it's not like an early morning email dump where there's like MLS used to, and it'd be like, here are the 10 properties that came on yesterday, right? With Real Scout, the emails will come out as the properties come out, as the prices change, as there's a status update. And it's not just like, here's a listing, here's a listing, here's a listing. It actually comes with wording that makes it sound very natural. So let me find my 2 starred ones here. So like this one on Delray Beach, right? It comes out and it says, hi, Len, here's a recent activity in your search area situated on a lakefront lot. 7671 Sterling Bridge Boulevard North is a ranch style home that features a laundry room, vaulted ceilings, and tile flooring. So the email comes out with a natural language that makes it look like you've actually taken the time to choose the property, to email them with the wording. And like here's this another one that came out. This one says, I wanted to share this listing. 80th Lane North features a gourmet kitchen, a 2-car garage, and an open floor plan. So the email that comes out, it looks natural. It's got the natural language, and buyers are more likely to open it up. If you have, if you're using the MLS and you're doing that early morning listing dump, right? It's like if the buyer misses that email, they'll never see any of those properties. So, and the format for this is really pretty incredible. I'm going to click this. And this is going to show you what, what the buyer is going to see. The buyer is going to see all the photos that come with this. Oh, hang on, there's something going on here. Yeah, normally, there we go. There are the photos. Boom. It's like whatever I'm doing a Zoom meeting, my computer just slows down so much. But here are all the great photos that come with it and everything, right? This is what the buyer is going to see, exactly what we're looking at right here. And then they're going to be able to see all the information. If there's a virtual tour, the link will be there. They'll be able to see it. And they'll be able to see the next time there's an open house and everything else. And the cool thing about this though is the buyers can actually go in and say, you know what, I like that kitchen. I like that neighborhood. I'm not sure about the price, but I like the yard. And they can give you direct feedback on what they think about the property. And then if they are interested in the property, right, they can click here and say interested, right? They can give you a number of stars. They can even send you a direct message. I mean, so they can say, you know what, I want to see this one, right? And I can say, hey, you know what? Actually, I'd like to see it tomorrow, and I'm going to send it, right? And it is so quick that I already got the text message. It is that fast. So now the other cool thing now is now we're going to take a look at the dashboard that you as the agent get to see. So this is what the buyer's view is, right? So now we're going to click here, and this is going to take us to the dashboard, right? And whenever you sign in, the dashboard is going to show you all the activity that's been happening with your buyers. And so as soon as I open this up, right, I can see that Len Lockery is interested in this one on West Palm Beach, right? And it's like, so you can also see that he said that he was interested and he gave it 4 stars. All that information is there. Messages, the latest messages are right here, right? If you scroll down, you can see who has been opening the emails, right? 2 hours ago, look at this. Leonard, he opened this one up in Londonderry, took a look at it. So Leonard, he's been pretty active looking at stuff. This is great. He also, so he's opened this email and he's looked at this property. At this property though, he actually went through and he gave it, said he's interested, actually looked at it. So all this information just shows you all the activity that's been going on, and you can stay on top of your clients. And by the way, on your clients that are in this program, right, you can put in for anybody, right? So let's just go down here to, there we are, Len Buyer, and you can see what searches you've set up for a buyer, right? But you can also add in multiple names, multiple contacts, multiple emails. So you can set it up so a husband and wife can get the same email every time if you want. So it's pretty good. Now, the thing that's really cool about this program too, though, is if you belong to multiple MLSs like I do, I belong to both New Hampshire and Massachusetts. There's a lot of people who are belonging to Massachusetts and the Cape. You can pick and choose. You can set your buyers up to choose either MLS, right? And pick and choose whatever state, whatever town. This whole area right here for choosing, setting up the search and everything, you know, you're going to say, hey, listing status, we're going to go for active, and say we're going to go for single family. And then we'll come on down here. And let me see here. What am I in? I am in. All right, so this is the New Hampshire MLS that I'm in. And come down here. Now, the cool thing about this is there are two ways to do a location search, right? So on the search, right, you can narrow it down by price, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, whatever you want, right? And then when you're, you know, the traditional way is then you would put in, say, the name of the town, right? The name of the city, or you would put in the zip code if you knew the zip code. And that's the traditional way, and you can still do it that way. But this program also uses the Pitney Bowes geographic boundaries, which is really extremely accurate, right? So if you knew a zip code, right, you can say 03079, and that's going to be Salem, New Hampshire, and it's going to zoom in and just for Salem, New Hampshire. If you knew the name of a school, right? Let's see, there's 2 high schools in Nashua, North and South. So we say Nashua High School. So Nashua High School North, we're going to choose that, right? And it's going to not choose the whole town, the whole city of Nashua. It's going to choose homes that are in that school district. So, and you can narrow it down to the, if you know a neighborhood name, it'll pull up the neighborhood name. If you know the elementary school, it'll show you what that elementary school area is. Actually, you know what? I remember the Bicentennial is in, here we go. Bicentennial Elementary School in Nashua. There we go. Boom, there's the school district for the elementary. You can narrow it down that far and it's that accurate. So this really makes it well worth the money. So one last quick item, two last quick items. There are listing tools here. You can do a test to market. This is great when you're meeting with sellers. So say, you know, whenever you do a CMA and you're going to give a seller a price range, right? Well, the seller is always probably going to say, well, I think my home is really worth, you know, what you can do is you can put in the address of the home, right? And we'll just use my house and we'll say single family, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Target price range is going to be $599,900, right? And now we're going to generate the report. Now, if you do a CMA and you're going to say, you know, the price range should be like $589, $599, right? More often than not, the seller's going to say, well, I think I should be $625, right? What you can do is you can create this report and it's going to show them that actually $599 is the perfect place because that's where you're going to get the most buyers. If you go too high, you're going to lose 1/3 of your buyers, right? If you go low, you're going to gain a few buyers and you'll get more activity. But this is another cool thing, and it pulls the information, the active information of what the buyers are actually looking for. So, and then the last thing is the landing page. You get a landing page with this program that you can actually take that URL and put it into your website. You can put it into your signature, whatever you want. And it's totally, you can personalize it completely. I mean, if you can see here, it says, it's got a picture of the Golden State Bridge, right? Which is not going to work for us. But if you click here, you can see all I did is I threw in a picture, I threw in a lion, changed a few things around, and it even pulls up my past sales and everything. So pretty good. All right, so those are the things with Real Scout. It's an incredible program and you really should get it and put your buyers in there. And you can put your sellers in there too. So, all right, so the next thing we're going to talk about real quick is going to be Cloud CMA. So we have gone through and we've updated Cloud CMA, personalized it, added pages for you. So you have multiple ways of getting into Cloud CMA. The easiest way is to go through your MLS. And once you're in there, what you'll need to do is you'll need to register. Oops, hang on, let me just get this out of the way. I have stuff in the way here. What you'll need to do is once you get in there, you'll need to go to your account settings. And then you will need to, now I'm already set up, but you'll need to put in the company name. This part is actually pretty important. So it does need to read LAER Realty Partners. I know we abbreviate and we all say it's LAER, LAER Realty, whatever. If you're in Florida, you're always saying it's LAER Bowen. But for this program, it has to read LAER Realty Partners for it to work. So, and there's another point where what you'll need to do is to access the branding and then you'll be all set after the first time you set up. The other thing is if you are like me, I'm in 2 MLSs, it will, you know, you always need to make sure that you're in the right one that you want to be in. And it's easy enough just to switch them around. There we go. And then I can just update this and now it'll pull all the Massachusetts ones. So I'm going to go back here to CMA. I want to show you something real quick. I've already got several test CMAs that I've created before. And so the great thing about this is you get 2 different versions that you can do. You can do the traditional one, which is like with a PDF, right? Which it would be your typical CMA, you print it out, you can print it out at the office, you can bind it, you sit down in front of the seller and you just go through it page by page, showing them the listings and showing them why, you know, where your marketing range, price range should be, right? The other cool thing is there's a live view. And this is great. You can upload this onto your tablet and then sit down in front of the seller and just kind of scroll through. And it's going to have all of the LAER pages, all the LAER marketing. If you click here, we'll see this is the 20-point marketing plan, which, by the way, this plan you can edit, change it, make it your own. And also, too, the cool thing is on the live view, you can take this and you can say, hey, you know what, really emphasize something like that. And then to scroll through, you can click here and it's going to take you to our numbers, and you click through, and here's the marketing, in-house marketing team, all this information. Now, these pages are great. Everything's got the LAER logo, and everything has the LAER colors and everything else. Let's just click here. Let's go back to the beginning here. And then we can go right here to the comps. Now, this is really pretty neat, because when you load this onto your tablet, right, you're loading it on as the person who created this. So as you're going through and you're talking to a seller and everything, they might say, well, they don't think that one of these houses really matches theirs, and you could say, okay, well, we'll take Wilds Road off, we can just not use that one. But you can also click on this and you can see more information this way, right? And then you can say, nope, I'm not going to include that one as a comp. And then let's just go back and say, all right, what's the next comp that we're going to look at? Then we can take a look at Fleetwood then, right? And you can scroll through, talk about the house and everything else. And it's going to show you the information. You can even make some price adjustments if you wanted to readjust it to match the marketing, so not being in just for marketing purposes, you can make those adjustments and everything. So this is the online view, which is pretty incredible. So let's just go back here. And then it also includes, we can come in here, it also includes graphs. Everybody loves graphs. And you can sit here and go through it. You can say, explain to the seller why your pricing is right and everything else. So all of this is all part of it, and everything is with the LAER logo, everything's with the LAER colors, and that's the online view, and it's the same with the PDF view. And again, it's so easy to do the CMA. You can import the MLS ID numbers, or you can have the CMA do the search for you, right? And you can say, do a search by proximity, right? Or you can say by number of bedrooms, by the price range, whatever, and have the program do the search for you. Or of course, you can just import the MLS ID numbers. And it just walks you through, and just go, and you just keep walking through this way. And you'll be able to, on the next page, be able to pick and choose which properties you're going to use, right? Lots of information. You can say, yeah, I don't want to use that one, or I do want to use that one, put it in. It's going to show you the numbers right there. And then when it comes to customizing the report, when you get to this page, right, if you want to make sure that this here says the theme is the LAER Realty Partners, and that matches what you put into your account. And so once you choose LAER Realty Partners, you will have all of the LAER pages. Over here on the folders, you'll have a LAER Realty Partners, and then you can pick and choose which LAER pages you want to put in, or you can put them all in either way. And so let me just see here. Where was the, where did that go? Hang on, here we go, publish report. So you can pick and choose which pages you want, and it's a really beautiful presentation, and it's easy to access. Hope that all made sense.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Len.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to go back to my presentation. All right, we are back over to the LAER Program and Services Guide. So basically, just going back to the $39 a month tech bundle, it includes 3 products: Isact, a CRM and marketing system, Property Base, which is a website, and then Real Scout, which is, as you saw, the program to make sure that your clients know new listings as they come on the market. But it's a really great system. Many of our agents depend on it.
We lost Stacy again.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Let's give it a couple of minutes. All right.
At LAER, we look at it
Okay.
that you really don't need to ever create a listing presentation, a buyer package, a seller package, a brochure. You should never have to create anything from scratch. We've created all of it for you. You just need to go in and customize it. Now, that being said, a couple things that we do. Anytime you get a new listing, I don't know why this is a little bit blurry. I think it's because of my internet. Anytime you get a new listing, our team automatically goes in and creates your marketing pieces for you. So you list a property today, you're going to get tomorrow a package with a 2-page brochure for your new listing. All of your social media pieces for the milestones of the listing, new listing, open house, price improvement, etc. As well inside the package that we send you. So basically you get an email and a text message when you list a new property. And it's going to have a Google folder with all of the pieces for your new listing. It'll also have in there like an open house sign-in sheet. We also send you the Canva template. So you get a Google folder with everything done for you. It's customized to you with pictures of your listing. We pull your description of the property. All of it's created. It's put in your Google folder, but it's also put right in a Canva template. So if you want to go in and further customize anything, it's super easy to do. So that's automatically on every new listing so that all of your marketing stuff is created so that you can start sharing it on social media, printing it out for your open house, things like that. In addition to that, I'm going to invite Sergio on to tell you about how we help you with social media marketing on a weekly basis. So with that, I want to welcome Sergio from our marketing department.
Thank you, Stacy. So like you mentioned, we do have these, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. We have the marketing bundle. You'll get an email that looks just like this. There's 3 links. Click one to download the bundle as is from Google Drive. And so these are ready to go. There's a PDF that you can print out. And we do include these Canva templates. So you already went over that. So the next thing is our social media. So we have really ramped up our social media here at LAER Realty every week. So at the beginning of the week on Monday, you will receive an email just like this saying your social media for this week is here. We include social media pieces for the whole week, including captions too. So these are suggested captions. From this email, you just select it, copy and paste. You can add or remove. We have a place here for you to add your own information. We have tons of hashtags, which again, you don't have to use all of them. You can keep just some of them, but it's just good to have more than you need. Then you can just choose the ones that you'd like. We have images that you can just download by clicking on this download button. Some of these are also videos. So if you click under here, there's an MP4 that you can click and download, and this plays as a video. And then we also have an edit in Canva button, which if you're signed into Canva, you just click on use template. You can add your own logo, do any customization that you'd like. But most of the time, this is just ready to go. So not only just this piece, we have the whole week covered, and different types of pieces, things about the current market, interest rates. We have some things about repairs, holidays, of course. We have Passover that is happening right now. And we're also including Facebook and Instagram stories. And these are really great because all you need to do is click on download and then post. So this is for your email. So you will get this email every Monday in the morning. And you also get a text message that looks just like this. So you see all these text messages that we're sending every week. When you click on that, it'll take you to this site on your phone. And this is formatted for your phone when you make it smaller. That is basically the same thing. So we're including everything for the week. You'll notice we have some Facebook banners. We have this post that you saw before. We try to make it easy for you to use this on your own phone. We have a download button now for downloading the images. To copy the text, instead of having to select everything on the phone, there is a button down here that says copy text. When you click on this button, all you have to do is go to your Instagram post, your Facebook post, and then paste. It'll copy over the whole thing, and then you can edit within the post. We are, again, including the Canva template buttons, and these are really great. So if you get anything out of today, definitely check out the social media posts. If you're not getting them, let us know. Check out Canva. If you've noticed, everything that we've done, all of Stacy's presentations, everything is done in Canva. Canva has a pro trial for 30 days. And the actual pro account is not that much, something like $13 a month. And it's definitely worth it because we use a lot of stock images in our pieces. Most of these you can use with the free version of Canva. And the listing bundle, we definitely make sure that you can use the free version of Canva. But some of our more advanced pieces do require Canva Pro. Again, there's a 30-day free trial. So if you want to create those packages that Stacy mentioned, sign up for those 30 days, do what you need to do, and you're all set. If you want to keep it, you can always keep it. Canva makes it really easy for you to share documents with us. So if, for example, you were working on this and you got stuck, you can just click on the share button and copy this link, give it to us, and then we can pick it up from there. Just send us this link. We'll edit the document right within your Canva document. So you'll see us come in and do work, and then you can share and then download this at whatever format you'd like. So definitely check that out. In the LAER Agent Services website, we also have the link both up here for the social media posts and then down here too. If you click on this social media button, it'll take you to the latest ones. So there's tons of ways of getting it. If you for some reason can't find it, you can always email us at Happy Agents. If you feel like you're not getting the email or the text message, let us know and we can fix that. And then definitely check out this guides, presentations, and brochures because we are adding to it constantly. So we just recently added, you've seen this home buying process monopoly board, which is added one for the home selling process. So we try to keep adding new ones and you'll see them pop up here. So definitely check this out on the regular. And so that is marketing. I wanted to cover one last thing. People have been mentioning ChatGPT a lot. I wanted to show you a couple of I've been experimenting with it. We've been trained to be very vague with our Google searches, right? With ChatGPT, you can be very, very exact. For example, I gave it a prompt. Can you write a biography for me? It's for my website. I'm a real estate agent based in the greater Boston area. I have 15 years of experience helping buyers and listing homes. I am native to the area, very knowledgeable. I have 2 kids and I love spending time golfing. It wrote me this whole thing. It's really great. Although it's not in first person. So you'll say a real estate agent, blah, blah, blah. It prompts you for your name. And all I did was just say, can you make that first person? I said, of course. It wrote me the bio in first person. I'm Sergio. I'm a real estate agent with 15 years of experience. Again, you don't have to copy this exactly word for word, but it's a great starting point. Another thing I had here is I'm doing a co-promotion with a florist. I'm offering a chance to win a $50 gift certificate. Can you sign up? I need the $50 gift certificate if someone signs up for my newsletter. Can you help me come up with a campaign that would include both social media and print? So it just gave me a social media campaign. It told me what to put on the image, what hashtags to use, and how to encourage followers to increase the reach and engagement, as well as print suggestions, what to put on the postcard, and also an email campaign and an email blast with just suggestions that we can use. And one last thing I did was I asked them if it could help me with a client appreciation event this summer for 100 clients. I'm going to have sponsors help me with costs, and I wanted to be family friendly. Sorry, my daughter is here. And so we suggested 5 different events that I could do: outdoor BBQ, movie night, pool party, charity walk, beach day, all with suggestions of activities that I could do. And this is a great starting point. All I did was just ask it a very specific question. So it's really great to see how emergent this software is becoming. And I invite you to just check that out. Check out ChatGPT if you go to openai.com, and check out Canva. And of course, check out all of our marketing resources here at LAER.
Sergio, is that the free version of ChatGPT?
Yes, that is the free version of ChatGPT. GPT-4 it's kind of crazy what it can do, but I did all of this just with GPT-3. And
the other thing that you didn't mention that I think agents should really dig into is writing your property descriptions.
Yes, so we're starting to do this. So sometimes we'll have a listing that only has about 2 sentences worth of property description. We'll put that into ChatGPT. It'll come up with a nice paragraph, and it's really great. Again, you don't have to use it word for word, and definitely check. You want to fact check, right? So specifically if it's telling facts about a certain town, you got to make sure that it's true. But it's a great starting point, especially if you struggle with coming up with 4 things to write. So definitely check that out.
All right, awesome stuff. Thank you, Sergio.
Of course.
Okay, we're going to go back to the LAER program and services guide. We don't have a heck of a lot of time. We only have about 15 minutes, and there's a lot we haven't covered yet. So I'm going to kind of scoot through the rest of the book just to kind of give you some highlights of stuff that you should kind of check out. So one of the things for LAER agents that we're going to soon be announcing, this is why this is the most recent version of our LAER program guide, is we're moving away from AdWorks to Boosts by HomeSpotter. So as many of you know, if you're a LAER agent, we believe in doing some pay-per-click advertising around your new listing. So not only do we create all of your listing packages and beautiful marketing materials for social media, but we also like to do some paid advertising around that. We do that on your behalf. You don't have to do anything. For the last 2 years, we've used AdWorks to do that pay-per-click marketing. We're moving over to Boosts by HomeSpotter only because we believe it will generate more leads for our agents. So these are free leads. They'll go directly to the list agent. We'll automatically run the advertisements. You'll have a dashboard so you can see everything. We're going to have more coming out on that over the next 30 days. But it's just, this is going to be the replacement for AdWorks. Next page just talks about our training program. So a couple things you need to know about LAER training. Even if you're not a LAER agent, there's tons of training opportunities available for you. Where do you find all of our training? So first of all, if you go to laerrealty.com/training, which is this little link at the top, if you go to that, this shows you all of the upcoming training classes. So you'll see basically it's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Fridays too, that we do training. But you can, what I tell agents to do is if you go down to the very bottom, pick which calendar you use, either your iCal or Google Calendar. If you click here, then it will overlay your calendar or our calendar onto your calendar, so you never miss an upcoming training class. So that's future training. All of these are basically Zoom training classes, and they're live, so you can ask questions, etc. As well, if you go to laeruniversity.com, you'll see tons of recorded training classes from the last few years. Anytime we do a training class, we put it in a couple places. One, we put it at LAER University, so that if you can't take the live class, but there's something you really want to see, then go take the recorded program. On LAER University, we organize the training into different segments, so you can go learn like social media or business systems, etc. But we also put all of our training on YouTube, so you can finally go to youtube.com/LAER training. If you go there, you'll see hundreds of classes. This class that you're taking right now will be available there this afternoon. In addition to training, we also have phenomenal coaching. So if you're a LAER agent, we do offer a complimentary 6-month coaching program where we basically team you up with a super high performing agent. There's no cost to you. You're not paying a piece of your commission to that agent. We invest in you so that we know that, I mean, we wrote our own 250-page coaching guide, and we know that if you do the exercises within that program and somebody's holding you accountable to it, you're going to be super highly successful in real estate. So we invest in you because we know it's going to make you a better agent. If you're interested in learning more about LAER coaching, you can go to laerrealty.com/LAER coaching. Tons of events and training programs throughout our brokerage. Because we have hundreds of agents in each of our marketplaces. We have 800 agents, about 30 plus real estate offices throughout Mass, New Hampshire, Florida. We do advertise throughout the brokerage where all of our training and networking events are throughout each month, just so that you don't have to participate just in your market area. In fact, it's even better if you get outside of your market area to meet people. As well, we do annual events. Many of you probably participated yesterday in New England. We had our annual awards program. It was a full day event, training with Tom Ferry. So awesome programs throughout the year. Just a few more areas for you guys to check out. If you're a LAER agent and you want to know how to win a listing, go to laerrealty.com/listing tools. This gives you some, like, all the talking points we think you should be speaking about at a listing presentation, as well as the highlights and marketing pieces you should be presenting. If you're a newer agent and need help doing like a transaction, we've created these little videos where we say, okay, let's say you're a buy-side agent for a transaction in Massachusetts. What do you need to do? We've created like a little video on each of the forms that you typically need to fill out with your client. Same with, like, we've done them for each of the states we do business in, buy side, list side, so that you can have these little tutorial videos. I kind of covered this. I'm not going to go through that again. I do want to stress again, if you need leads, on page 22 of our program guide, there's a section in here that is all the different lead services for real estate agents. On the left-hand side, these are all the companies that are referral fee-based lead platforms. And on the right-hand side, these are all subscription-based lead platforms. I'm a big fan of referral fee-based lead platforms, not a fan of subscription-based lead platforms, because then you could be paying a lot of money each month and not seeing a result. Referral fee-based lead platforms are 100% very expensive. You're paying 25 to 38% of the commission to the company that has referred the business to you. But here's the key. You're building a database of people to market to so they can refer you business. You might actually sell a house to the person as well. So let's just say you get a customer from Op City. In fact, you want to get a lot of customers or potential customers from Op City. Let's say you get over the next 6 months, 50 leads from Op City that come in. That's 50 people that you're marketing to on a regular basis. You're inviting them to client appreciation events. They're getting your monthly newsletter. You're staying in contact with them on a regular basis. You're putting them into Real Scout, so they're getting listings from you. You're constantly marketing to that person, because the message that you have for those 50 people is, if you know anybody looking to buy or sell real estate, please send them my way. Now, if that person referred by Op City does close on a transaction, you have to pay your referral fee. It's expensive. But what happens when they send you their next door neighbor, their best friend, their kids? This is a long-term game. Like, this is building a database. And of course, if you do a transaction with that person, you must pay your referral fee, but you want to build the database and have them referring you other business that has no referral fees. So, huge fan of these lead platforms. I think every agent that needs business should sign up for all of them on this side. Some of them have waiting lists. Sign up for the waiting list. I just saw yesterday, I'm a huge fan of Veterans United. They do a fantastic job. And we have several agents, I want to say around 30 agents, that regularly get a lot of business from Veterans United. And for the last 6 months, all of these companies, not all, but some of these companies, the lists are full. They have too many real estate agents. But I promise you, real estate agents are going to be exiting the real estate market in the next 12 months. Anyways, yesterday I saw one of our agents who's been on the waiting list for Veterans United for, I don't know, since last summer, just got onboarded into Veterans United. So some of these lists are starting to open up because agents are leaving the industry. So sign up, even if there's a waiting list, go through the process, but you got to take the time. It takes you probably a few hours to go through each of these, fill them out, and be eligible to start to receiving leads. You got to see a presentation today from Len on our Cloud CMA platform. It's not the free generic Cloud CMA that you get on MLS. It's the upgraded version. So you have to go in and hook it to the LAER Realty branding version of Cloud CMA so that you get the enhanced version with all of our marketing stuff in there. But these are little videos on how to customize your reports, how to create a property report. We have these little educational videos to help you use the tool. We've done the same thing with RPR. So if you prefer to use RPR, we have done the same exact thing, some great content in there. Also want to remind you, we feel that real estate is more than just a business. It is it's a way of life. So you will see, if you look at our training calendar, for example, every Wednesday morning, we do a Zoom yoga class. Participate in that stuff. That's why we have, it's part of the Algorwin growth system. It's more than just doing real estate. It's like keeping yourself physically and mentally in a high vibration state so that you are attracting lots of business. These are just all kinds of cool companies you can order stuff from promotional products to postcards to business cards, etc. We do have a phenomenal in-house transaction coordinating team. If you need help coordinating transactions, they're phenomenal. There is a fee for that, but well worth it. And then also, if you're a LAER agent, I always like to say, we have lots of awesome stuff at our company. And the reason we're awesome is because of our agents who contribute and tell us what they need. So if you want to have a voice in all the tools, training, technology, the things that are happening at LAER, please, by all means, join a committee. We have systems in place so that you guys contribute and we act on it. So we want your voice. It helps make us a better company. And then you, of course, got to hear from Craig Foley today, our Chief Sustainability Officer. We have all kinds of wonderful things happening within the sustainability division. And even if sustainability is not your thing, I promise you, every once in a while, you're going to come upon a listing that has like solar panels, and you're going to need some advice as to how to dissect that contract, things like that. Reach in, just email our happy agent team and say, hey, I have a client that's got solar panels. I need some help. And send that into our happy agent team, and you'll end up hearing from Craig, who will walk you through that transaction. And then also, I like to point out that we have some awesome offices. I mentioned we have lots of office locations. They're all beautiful. We take a great deal of time and effort in. So art, not only are our words and like our emotions all add to our positive vibration, but so does art. Art adds to our vibration, which you need to be on that high vibration to be attracting business. So we make sure our office spaces are uplifting, that they have beautiful art, and they're like a great vibe of energy when you go in. So we have a really cool art collection that is displayed throughout our offices. And then lots of office locations. By all means, we encourage you. So most of the offices you can use whenever you want. So like if you wanted to, let's just say you're in a market that's not usually yours and you want to access the office, you can just go down to this link down here, laerrealty.com/office access, put in your name and LAER email address. It'll send you all the information for getting into that office. So with that, we are at the end of our program. By the way, if you're not a LAER agent and you love everything that you heard today, and you're like, wow, somehow I want to be a part of LAER, we have lots of agents that were just like you. They participated in maybe a boot camp or one of our other hundreds of training classes, and one day they say, I just want to be a part of it. Even if we don't have an office right in your backyard, trust me, we make it super easy for you to do business anywhere with all the technology that we've built into our organization. If you're interested in learning more about LAER, please just email happyagent@laerrealty.com and just say, I'd be interested in learning about how your commission programs work, things like that. Email us into happyagent@laerrealty.com. You'll end up getting contacted by me. I'd love the opportunity to share with you a little bit about the amazing things happening at our brokerage. And with that, to everybody who joined us today, Sergio, Craig, Len, thank you for helping us present another great boot camp. And thank you to all the agents who sat in there for 3 hours to improve their business. Make sure you go execute on some of that stuff, because knowledge is not power, execution is power. Thank you, everyone.